Hi there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining from in the world today. Welcome to Live with Leila. My name is Leila Singh, and I'm a leadership, career, and a personal brand coach. And my mission is to impact 100,000 people's career trajectory beyond what they thought possible. Why? Because I am passionate about helping you to realize what is truly possible for you when it comes to your career and to your life. How do I do this? So enabling you to harness your leadership potential. I coach high achieving, ambitious, and driven mid to senior level career professionals working typically and not always in the technology industry for promotion, for peak performance, and a standout personal brand, all whilst showing up as the best version of themselves. And this is what I call life leadership. Welcome to each and every one of you who is catching this live today or on replay. If you're watching live, please do say hello in the comments and let me know where in the world you are joining from. Let me know if you're joining from the UK, which city you're in, or which country you're in outside of the UK. And if you're watching on replay, please do hashtag replay in the comments as well. Let me know that you're watching on replay. And of course, for today's content, its topic, then do ask me any questions in the comments below, and I will endeavour to answer them today live, or of course, I will come back and answer them if you are watching on replay. As well, please do share your thoughts and your takeaways from today's topic. So, what am I sharing with you today? Before I go ahead and introduce you to today's topic, I just want to check that everything is working well. Shah, I can see you on. Thank you very much for joining. And I'm assuming you can see me and hear me okay. And it's all clear. Apologies, by the way, I am in the UK. That's where I'm based. And it is just gone 12:30 in the afternoon. And we have sunlight streaming through, even though it is really cold outside. It's about 9 degrees at the moment. But unfortunately, the sun streaming through is impacting the camera and you being able to see me on camera if I have my curtains open. So I've had to block out the sunshine for a little while as I speak with you. So I hope you can see me and hear me okay. What is today's topic? It is about being overlooked. So being overlooked in your career to then being in demand. How do you do this? How do you move from being overlooked to being in demand? Whether you're in the job search market, whether you're looking to get promoted within your organization, or you're thinking about the new year and what you can do to stand out from the competition so that you can secure those interviews and move forward, move through the process and receive that offer, that job offer, to elevate your career, to get that promotion, to take on more responsibility, or even step into leadership wherever you are in your career progression. The question here today is, will what got you here get you to where you want to be? In other words, what got you here today will not get you where you want to be. You've got to do things differently. So my question to you is, do you want to secure your next role or to get promoted? But maybe you're feeling stuck or you're feeling that you're constantly overlooked. The hard truth today is that many people believe that qualifications, experience, hard work, and keeping your head down will lead to recognition. However, this is no longer the case. Please don't get me wrong here. The hard work, the qualifications, the skill set, the experience, of course, they are essential, but they are not enough. That's not the whole picture. So maybe right now you're in the job market, you're looking for that next role, and you're lacking confidence to possibly effectively showcase your values and your accomplishments. Or you're watching other people around you advance in their careers and you're left feeling that your own efforts are simply unrecognized. And that leaves you feeling frustrated, right? Let me know in the comments if this is you. And perhaps it may be that you are out of practice with your interviews and your job applications. In fact, it's so long since you've been in that interview process, that hiring process, that you no longer remember what to do. And this can lead to you feeling really stuck, feeling rejected, or simply having no responses to your applications. Or you're simply feeling invisible in this incredibly competitive landscape. So if this resonates with you, if this is an area that you're struggling with right now, that you're in the job market, it is challenging right now. Let's be honest with ourselves. It is challenging, and therefore it is essential, if you want to secure a next role, that you want to take those steps so that you stand out, that you have that competitive advantage, because it's a demanding market. There's a lot of candidates out there searching right now, and they're high caliber. So you're amongst the creme de la creme. You want to be able to stand out and be recognized. Hey, I want to interview this person. I want to bring them in. I want to talk to them. I want to move them forward through the process. And this is where you've got to think differently. This isn't just about talking about all your experience and saying that you work really hard and you're dedicated and you're committed. It's what else can you do to demonstrate that you're the right fit for the organization and for that role? How can you head and shoulders stand out above everybody else? So here's what's possible when you take on and integrate the areas that I'm going to be sharing with you. Not today, I'm going to share this with you next week in our live, same time, same place. But today, what I want to share with you is what's possible for you when you take this on and when you start to do the work to integrate the skills and the way that you show up, such that people will gravitate towards you and have you top of mind when these opportunities arise. In other words, when the next job opening comes up, or if they're expanding a team, or if there's somebody in your network who knows somebody else who's hiring, or they're struggling to find the right person for that role, then they will come to you because you're top of mind. You stand out from that crowd. So imagine this. Imagine if you are struggling right now, showing up with that confidence, absolute 100% confidence in yourself and your abilities, and having the clarity of mind that you can articulately convey what it is you want, why you want it, and the value that you are bringing to the table. In other words, you can eloquently communicate your skills, your experience, your value, and therefore attract opportunities effortlessly. What if you were being recognized and referred simply because your professional reputation precedes you? People know who you are. They know what you're about. They know that you can be counted upon, that you deliver at your best, that you over deliver, that your quality of work is outstanding, that you go over and above for your internal and your external clients. If you're that person and people will remember that, they're more likely to recommend and refer you. And imagine developing that commanding presence, that gravitas that draws other people towards you before you've even started to speak. Isn't that a great place to be? Would it not be empowering for you to have hiring managers competing to hire you, or to finally receive those promotions and the recognition that you've strived so hard for and that you've earned without all of the exhausting effort? As I said earlier, what got you here today to where you are won't necessarily get you to where you want to be in the next stage of your career. Why? Because the career landscape has changed. Hard work and qualifications, yes, they are essential, as is the experience, as are the skills, but they are no longer enough to stand out. In other words, your career progression today demands a more strategic and modern approach. And this is how I help my clients, because I draw upon my 25-year corporate career, which spans both finance and sales, and my last 10 years as a leadership development and career coach. And I help my clients to be able to stand out, to elevate themselves, to be more visible, to be top of mind, so that those opportunities come to them even more easily. Some of the things for you to consider are this. You want to gain clarity on your career path and your personal brand. When I talk about your personal brand, I'm referring to how you show up in person. There are different facets to personal branding, and the majority of people talk about personal branding being your online presence. In other words, your branding, what you talk about, your thought leadership, your LinkedIn profile, and so forth. And that is one facet of personal branding. Another facet of personal branding, which is what I focus on, is how you show up in person, whether that's online on Zoom or Teams for an interview, or in person in the room. How do you show up in the workplace? These are all the things that are so important, and it encompasses your attitude, your outlook, your mindset, your body language. There's a whole raft of areas that we focus on to really have you showing up at your best, so that people want to gravitate towards you. They want you in their team. They want you working on projects with them. They want you to step into leadership. So you want to be gaining clarity on both your career path and your personal brand. And I would start with, who am I? What do I want to be known for? What do I stand for? What are my values? And these are some of the things that we look at when we work together. Also, you want to be able to cultivate your confidence and look at your value and your abilities and be able to articulate them well. Apologize, my camera is playing up again. This is the second time this has happened. Okay, I have to switch cameras again. I'm not sure why this has happened. Apologies for that. I hope you can still hear me okay. If you can let me know in the comments, that would be great. So as I was saying, the things that you want to be considering here is gaining clarity on your career path and on your brand, and others, what you stand for, what you want to be known for. Cultivating your confidence in your value and in your abilities, being able to articulate this concisely and in a way that people will immediately see the value that you have got to bring to the table. You want to develop a captivating presence, in other words, gravitas, that has you communicating effectively with people around you at all levels, and whether that's on a one-on-one conversation or one-to-many, for example, in a meeting, a presentation, or with clients. And also your ability to connect effectively with the people in your organization and in your wider network, for example, across your industry. You want to think about leveraging the power of that network, of those relationships, of people that you've worked with in the past, and embracing the advocacy for career growth. So these are things that you want to be thinking about when I talk about a more strategic and a modern approach. And this is an area I'm going to go into a lot more detail on next week. So join me, make a note in your diary to join me at the same time, same place next week, 12:30 next Tuesday, when I will dive into this in more depth, and I will walk you through the blueprint that I share with my clients. And this is the roadmap and the stepping stones that we go through to have you coming out the other side, being able to deliver effectively in the way that you show up at your interviews, to be compelling in your conversation, the way that you respond to the questions that are put to you, to have people wanting you in their space, wanting to get to know you more. So when they see you on, for example, on LinkedIn, or they read about your experience and so forth, and then they start to talk to you, there's a compelling requirement, a demand to have you come speak to them and move you through that process, so they want to hire you. And this is not only about, I'm reiterating, this is not only about your experience and your skill set. This is also about how you show up in person. A lot to do with your attitude, your mindset, your ability to communicate effectively, and so forth. So as you can tell, I am really passionate about this. And because I want to keep today's live short and succinct, I'm going to, as I said, in the second part of this, I will talk to you next week in detail about different areas that I want you to consider when it comes to setting yourself up for success. And I want to share with you here today, well, why me? Because a lot of people are career coaches, they're leadership development coaches, and can support you. And what I want to bring to your attention is my journey and why I do what I do today. Because oftentimes when we've come from that place where we have struggled with similar challenges to others, it's easier for us to empathize, to understand, and to be able to share what we have learned in that journey that will enable you to move forward and to progress. And that is what I want to spend a few minutes just talking to you about today. As I said earlier, what got you here today will not get you to where you want to be. And I'll share with you how I know this. Let's go back almost 30 years ago when I embarked on my career. So I graduated in finance, and I then qualified as an accountant, started to work in industry, and that's where I had most of my training within finance. But here's the thing. The person that I was then is not the person you see here today. I was quiet. I was the quiet church mouse. I lacked self-esteem. I lacked confidence in both myself and my abilities. I was a very much behind the scenes finance professional. And I transitioned from that over the course of my career into a very successful sales professional, generating close to $1 billion of business in the role that I was in over about 10 years. And what my career taught me is the power of visibility, of influence, and of self-advocacy. And when I was very early on in my career, and you may have heard this story before if you've been following me for a while, or you've listened to my TEDx talk where I share a little bit of this. But I genuinely believe that what got me there, in other words, what got me into the career in finance and to be doing really well, which was keeping my head down, working really hard, up to that point studying really hard to pass all of my exams, and just hoping that others will recognize my hard work and my efforts and my value, and therefore I would get rewarded, in other words, promoted and so forth accordingly. And I believed this for the first few years. And it was only when a finance director of mine, he'd hired me into that particular organization. He was leaving, and he came over to say his goodbyes to me and have a little chat. And he said to me, he said, Leila, you've been a great hire for the organization. You've delivered great value. You're over deliver. You're good at what you do, and so forth and so forth. He said, but I think back to the conversation at your interview where you talked about your career aspirations and wanting to move up the ladder. And you have the abilities, you're more than capable, you've got the qualifications, you're developing great experience here. He said, but my concern for you is that you will struggle. Why? Because you do not speak up. People don't know who you are. They don't know the value that you bring to the table. You need to make yourself known. You need to build your relationships. You need to speak up more. And he kind of left me with this valuable advice that I still sat there feeling that I was lacking in the confidence. I was really shy. I didn't have that self-esteem. So I thought, well, it's great advice for the people who've got that confidence, but I don't have that. So what am I going to do with this? And over the course of a few years working in finance, I really enjoyed the challenge of the roles that I had, but I realized I wanted more. And I wasn't quite sure what that was, but I also knew that I needed to build my confidence in order to be able to show up better in the workplace if I wanted to move up the ladder. And in essence, what I did was I took a huge risk, and that risk propelled my confidence from here to here. And what I did was I left the accountancy environment, in other words, my finance role, and I stepped into financial recruitment. In other words, I became a salesperson. Now, luckily, I had an organization which was confident in me to invest in me and to train me in that role. And fortunately, I was the highest biller in my first year. And that in itself gave me the confidence. But not only that, because I'd stepped so far outside of my comfort zone, that's what elevated my confidence. And you probably heard this said before. People talk about, step outside your comfort zone, because that's where the magic happens. And it really does, because as I said, my confidence elevated, it propelled itself forward, and it really created a shift in me, which had me realize the value that I had to bring to the table, and that we all have value to bring. And it's also important to be able to articulate that value. to be able to share it with people so they can recognize it and understand why they should have a conversation with us or interview us or hire us. And moving forward from that, I spent a couple of years in recruitment and I was offered thereafter an opportunity to join what at that time was one of the largest IT outsourcing companies in the world, Electronic Data Systems. And it was a company I was aware of. I'd had friends who had gone through their graduate programs in various departments, from HR to the tech side, to sales. And so it was a company that I thought very highly of, and this opportunity came up. I grabbed it with both hands. It was a completely new role for me. I had no experience. I literally had to learn from the ground up, and it was a role sat within the treasury team in corporate finance. It created huge opportunities for me and also immense growth. And again, all of this added to my confidence in myself, my abilities, and also realizing that when I apply myself to anything, I can succeed. And this goes for you. And this is why I'm sharing this story with you, because it's really important to recognize that we can step out of our comfort zone. We can try new things. We can go for opportunities. And by the way, I also recognize that it's important to have hiring managers that are open enough to the possibility of giving people those chances, those opportunities to prove themselves, because they're still in the workplace, they're still hiring managers who almost treat it like a tick box exercise. You have to have these things, this experience and this skill set and so forth. A lot of what will have you succeed is your attitude. And I know it was my confidence, my belief in myself, and my breadth of experience that allowed me to have that opportunity to step into a corporate finance role. And with that, again, exponential growth for me, opportunities that I never dreamt of. And then when Hewlett Packard acquired EDS, I was offered 2 roles, in fact. So I stepped into a different treasury role within HP initially, which is more of a treasury consulting role, and then into a sales executive role where I spent almost 10 years. And if you'd asked me at the outset of my career, would you ever consider working? So 100% no, because I knew I was shy, I didn't have the confidence and so forth. I was, scared to speak to people. So by putting myself into a position where I had no choice, which was the recruitment role, and by the way, I took a 50% pay cut to do that. This is what I talk about: taking risks, having to compromise to achieve the longer game. What is it you want to achieve in your longer term career trajectory? Sometimes we need to do that. We need to compromise, or we need to look at, okay, what risk do I have to take here to make this happen? And this is why I'm so passionate about what I do today. Over the last 10 years, I've been coaching people to really advance and elevate themselves up the career ladder and to achieve what they hadn't even realized was possible for them. So my invitation to you today is to ensure that you diarize next week's live, 12:30 on Tuesday, to come back, return here and join me when I share with you the 6 pillars that I believe are essential alongside the hard work, qualifications, and the experience in order to raise your competitive advantage in the marketplace and ensure that you can secure your next role, your next promotion, and be recognized for the value that you bring to the table. My invitation to you today is to reflect on what is holding you back, what is frustrating. Understand what it is you truly want from your career, and then come back and join me next week, where I will share with you the intricacies of the 6 areas for you to start considering, thinking about, that will help you to achieve the career success that you are striving for. In the meantime, a couple of reminders for you. Number 1, continue to follow me for the weekly insights, the practical tips that will help you to advance your career. And remember that your career success starts with how you show up, your attitude, your mindset, the way that you carry yourself. So let's make the new year 2025 the year that you take control of your career trajectory and achieve the recognition that you deserve. And if you're wondering how I can help you with that, I am launching a group program in January. We're currently in the pre-launch stage, and I have an amazing offer where you can secure your place in that group program for 50% off the regular investment for those 6 months. Not only that, if you enroll in the program before January 1st, you will also receive additional coaching support from me. So my invitation to you is to DM me if you're interested to learn more. Absolutely no obligation at all, and I can share more information with you. Alternatively, I will pop a link below shortly in the comments for the group program. It tells you all about what it's about, what the outcomes will be for you, in other words, how it will help you to advance in your career, and what you will get within the program. In other words, what the program looks like, all of the features of it in terms of the coaching, the support, the training, and the community. So if this is something, if you are struggling right now, if you're in the job market and you're looking for that next opportunity and you keep doing the same thing over and over and not getting the results you want, struggling to get those interviews, yes, it is a challenging market, but believe me, we want to start looking at how you are showing up when it comes to your career, to your interviews, to having those conversations with the recruiters and the hiring managers. This program can be a good fit for you to help you with that. And it's a no-brainer investment for you. As I said, I currently have the launch price available, and it's 50% off the regular investment. So please do check out the link for the Leadership Launchpad, which will be in the comments below shortly. And DM me if you have any questions or you'd like more information. There's absolutely no obligation at all. And we can hop on a quick call as well. I will leave you for today. I've gone over time today, so I do apologize. As I said, any questions, pop them below, and I look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week, right here, where I will dive deeper into some of the things that you can do to help you to move forward in securing your next role. Take care, have a great rest of the week, and I will speak to you soon.